all week we've been consumed with the Terry McLaurin stuff, right? And their fans, I think, have been really worried about the edge position kind of throughout the offseason.
They have been.
I mean, that's been until the Terry thing kind of kicked up to another gear. The biggest concern is how are you going to generate pass rush? You lost Dante Fowler. How are you going to get this done? And you and I talked about this way back. Like, there are some of these veterans out there. You wonder how much these guys are going to want to do summer off-season stuff. But as camp gets closer, who could make sense?
Yeah.
And to add a guy like Von Miller, I mean, just to go through his resume, 8-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro, 2-time Super Bowl champ, the MVP of Super Bowl 50 when the Broncos defense just shredded Cam Newton and the Panthers. Member of the Hall of Fame All-2010s team, number 2 overall pick by Denver back in the 2011 draft. I'm not pretending the Von Miller they're getting is the Von Miller that wrecked Cam Newton in that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay? But the Von Miller they're getting last season was still quite good.
I think he played 11 games. He had 8 sacks.
6.
6?
Yeah.
They had 8 the whole year, though.
No, 6 last year. I promise.
Go ahead.
But still, it's not just about sacks. Like, we can't honestly, Dante Fowler had double-digit sacks last season, but he was probably overall a negative for the team, honestly. Like, on one of those big Saquon runs, go back and watch it. Dante Fowler gets blocked into Bobby Wagner and takes him out of the play. If you look at Von Miller's year last season, 6 sacks, 7 tackles for loss, 8 hits, only playing about 25% of the snaps. If you look at Pro Football Focus, which I don't always love to reference, but PFF thought he was really good last year. 10th in pass rush win rate.
Yep.
I mean, 10th in the league. He's winning on his pass rushes 17.6% of the time. A guy like Trey Hendrickson only won 20% of the time. Myles Garrett's at 23.
What happens is you get all those big dudes in the middle. He gets on the edge one-on-one with a lot of tackles. Von Miller may be older. He's still more athletic than most tackles out there.
Totally.
And for me, I don't look at the fact of just what Von Miller can do. I look at what Von Miller can do for other people. There are young pass rushers on this team that we're going to be counting on when Von is done with the league. And 1 year with him is better than 1 year with just the coach, or 2 or 3 years with the coach. Watching him every day work and watch the things he does, as I was telling Jeff earlier, when I was younger watching Ernest Biner and Kelvin Bryant, I didn't ask a lot of questions at first. All I did was one day I see them do something and they win. Then I see them win again. You know what I did the next day? The same stuff they did. And then I began to do it over and over again, and it became a part of my repertoire. And I think that happens for the young guys. We always talk about how the veteran guys are good for the young guys. It's not necessarily what you say. It's what you do. And if he goes out there and starts doing, they can start taking some of those weapons of the pass rushes and add that to their holster, then it makes them a better player. So, just like having Bobby Wagner on his team, very much what Von Miller can be.
Well, that's what I was going to say is I watched last year the impact Wagner had in the locker room. And honestly, the relationship that Wagner and Jaden developed, I thought was so healthy. It was a total big bro, little bro. They were always like kind of talking S to each other, always talking about basketball. They grew up in the same part of the country.
Yeah.
Wagner just commanded the locker room. Like, I'm not trying to make a weird pun because of the Commanders. Like, he really has this gravitas to him. And I think that really, really added to a defense that was okay, but in big moments, they had a guy to calm them down. And this team had a lot of big moments. And I think Miller will only add to that. And B, it's funny, what you just said made me think about Art Monk. I mean,
hell yeah.
What was his impact on you when you got into the league?
Man, just like I said, it's not about what the guys say. Art didn't say much. Art talked more yesterday to all of you and the different shows he was on than he's talking his whole damn life.
I put that moment with you and Art on TV. I thought that was really cool.
But the cool thing is, thanks. The cool thing, when you watch professionals, like, as Ray Brown would say, when you watch a pro, you learn from the pro. You do what the pro does. You don't watch a pro and then you have to go ask questions. When you see what he does, you try to go do what he's doing.
Right.
And that's what Von Miller is a pro. And listen, I'm not trying to sit up here and act like Von Miller is Michael Parsons right now.
Right.
He was once Michael Parsons. But what did Gary Clark say yesterday? He was much better at 4.6 than he was at 4.3. So Von Miller might just be a little better because of his savvy, his intelligence on the field than he was when he was a young, fast dude. Because you learn stuff as you get older, you know. And I'm not necessarily just worried about him because he's probably here a year and he's gone. But there's somebody else that's going to be here that we're going to have to count on at one point this year, probably another point next year, and the next year, and they may learn something from this dude while he's here.
Totally. And I think let's be crystal clear to everybody listening, everybody on the YouTube, when people listen to this on podcasts, whatever it is. We're not saying Von Miller is going to break out for 14 sacks next year. I don't expect that.
Nobody
I think
said
he's
that.
going to be pretty limited snap count. I think you're thinking 25, maybe 30% of snaps.
But a guy that can have impact in 25% of snaps, that's great.
Well, and B, we could talk about the 6 sacks, the pressure rate, all that stuff. What Joe Witt and Dan Quinn have talked about all the time, and Joe Witt goes hard. I love listening to Joe Witt because there is zero sugarcoating with that dude. What they talked about over and over and over again, and you're going to hear it later in the show when we talk to Warren Sharp, the defense did not make enough big plays. They didn't generate enough turnovers, and that's something that Witt and Quinn teams do, right?
Yeah.
They generate turnovers. And the biggest play Von Miller made last year wasn't one of the sacks in the regular season. It was in that Ravens win over the Bills. He grabbed a fumble and almost house called it. Like he had I want to say it was like a 40-yard fumble recovery, like a 40-yard run on a fumble recovery. He has a knack for big plays throughout his career. And I think one knock that is pretty silly. In 2021, that Rams Super Bowl run, remember the Rams traded for him kind of at the deadline? In the playoffs, he had 4 sacks in 4 games in that Super Bowl run. Forced a fumble, had a fumble recovery, 6 TFLs. I understand that was 4 years ago now. But the people that want to say he's injury prone, I think you're incorrect on that. In the last 2 years, he's played 25 games. Like, if you get 12, 13 games out of him and you're getting, I don't know, say it's 30% of snaps and he's able to make an impact in those and say there's a strip sack in there, like this is a 1 year. I don't know that it's veteran minimum. Von Miller might command more than veteran minimum, but I bet it's incentive laden. And I want to dispel the injury plague thing. And I also, for the folks that are like, well, how does this impact Terry?
It has nothing to do with Terry. And say what I had that conversation with Jeff. Like people have to realize you have money slotted for positions for the most part. He's not affecting that receiver position. Has nothing to do with it. And, you know, they could do a veteran minimum deal with some incentives. Because whatever he gets, he doesn't count all of that even against the cap, even if it's a small number. It counts a lower number against the cap. And I think people have to realize that and stop. Everything is not the same in the NFL, believe me. There's so many little different things that they do and how they could do things to where one thing affects the other at all.
Totally, man. I think here's the thing to remember with McLaurin. They're working on a contract extension. Contract extensions are complicated. Free agency is pretty easy, right? You get to the tampering period, you see who makes you offers, you figure out where you want to play, who's giving you the most cash, what's the best deal, and you kind of play them off each other. That's easy. Extensions are complicated because Terry's already under contract for this year. So they probably want to convert some non-guaranteed money to guaranteed money. Then you got to figure out, all right, well, what's the salary in the extension? What are the guarantees in the extension? When do the guarantees hit in the extension? What's guaranteed at signing? What's guaranteed year 2? What's guaranteed on the third day of the league year in 2028? Like, that is complicated stuff.
Yeah.
And if they're far apart on the money to begin with, that only further complicates it. The Miller deal is going to be pretty darn straightforward.
100.
I also think I want to play this audio from Zach Ertz the other day where he was on with Kay Adams. But, B, what does it say about this organization? Like, Von Miller's not going to sign with the Panthers. He's not a dude that is just chasing another check.
He sees how close they are. You know, he sees how close they are. And also, Dan Quinn, Joe Witt has a reputation. You know who else has a reputation? Cliff Kingsbury. And his student has a great reputation. That's what people want to be with. You know, Von's a defensive player. Not going to be on the same side of the ball with Jaden, but he knows that dude is a problem for people. And if we could just get the ball to him more often, everybody else going to have a problem with us. So that's why people want to sign here, because this team is the up-and-coming team. This team has that chance. You know, you got a guy in his second year, people are already talking about top 10. A lot of people say top 5. That says a lot.
Well, and if you look at these vets they've brought in, and dude, people get caught up in the average age of the roster. One thing I want to point out, your 3 specialists on this team are driving the age up pretty good. Between Tress, Gay, and Ott, they're all in their 30s.
Yeah.
And for special, how long did Sean Landeta play, B? Was he 40?
Sean Landeta played 20-plus years in pro football. He was in the USFL for about 3 years or 4 years, whatever it was. Then he played 20 years, I think, or more in the NFL. Sean Landeta played a long damn time.
Like, I'm not trying to discount that they have some older veterans on this team, but when you average out the age, you know who the oldest dude on the team is?
Ooh.
The third string quarterback. Like, Josh Johnson is 39, so that's going to drive your numbers way up. In an ideal world, Josh Johnson doesn't play a snap. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Josh Johnson, Nick Ballore, who's primarily a special teamer, is 36. Tress is 35. Ott is 33. That Mariota's your backup. He's 31. Like, that is going to drive this roster age way up. I'm not pretending like they don't have other older veterans, but like just allow that to saturate.
I know the world has changed in the NFL and everything. What was the average age of the 1991 Super Bowl team?
White Brian, see if you can ask.
I guarantee that age was up there.
Yeah, and they were one of the best teams of all time.
And many people think it's the best of all time.
Now, I mean, their 2 biggest offseason acquisitions in Debo and Laramie Tunsil are 29 and 30, respectively. So they're going for veterans. They also had a roster that was pretty bare bones that they're trying to rebuild through the draft and on the fly. 91, White Brian, when the last Redskins Super Bowl. Good God. I think nobody's pretending that Von Miller is Lawrence
Brian
Taylor.
said he wasn't born then, dog. He don't know what the hell they did. He cheered for their opponent.
But I do think, to me, this makes a ton of sense. And for folks that were upset they didn't bring Fowler back, I mean, straight up, would you rather have Fowler or Miller?
I think Miller can give you what Fowler gave you completely.
All right.
And also plays better against the run.
I don't think Von Miller's going to be out there in run situations very often. I think there's a reason. Like, when it's tush-push time against the Eagles, and there will be tush-push time against the Eagles, I think that's when you see Eddie Goldman. You know what I mean? Like, I think they now believe – I mean, that D-line – I mean, let's just rattle off the names. Kinlaw, Wise, Payne, Newton, Goldman, Dorrance Armstrong. Now you add Von Miller. I mean, that's 8 dudes that will have, like, roles. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Sheldon Day's still there. Like, you've got guys that will have roles, and then you've got younger guys that can be pass rushers. nobody's saying it's perfect, but I think this is an addition of a veteran. You still have Farrell. Jalen Holmes, I thought, gave them real good snaps down the stretch last year. I know you like Jacob Martin's tape from Chicago. To me, it's a veteran ad, doesn't cost you much, and it makes a ton of sense.
Yep.
For
I
everybody
have
that
no
was
issue with it, Jay.
Yeah, me too. I mean, the text thread. All right, so White Brian says the average. You want to guess, or I guess you could look. White Brian says the average age of that '91 Skins team was 26.2.
What is the one now?
30, probably 30.
I don't think
Might
it's
be
30.
30.
It's 26 something.
Give us that number.
I thought it was
No,
like
it's gotta be
26.7 or something like that. You got all them young dudes on the team too now. You got Jaden is 23, Mikey is 21.
It's 27 and a half,
27
which is
and a
the
half.
highest in the
Yeah.
NFL.
And I think it's no different. It don't make no difference.
I do wonder though, B, after you sign Von Miller, understanding how different the situations are, like almost an ocean of difference. I don't know that the Commanders are playing the age card with Terry in these negotiations. Seems a little harder to do it.
But as I told Jeff again, Jeff and I had an extensive conversation. You're paying Von a 1 year, very, very low contract compared to what everybody else is. Terry's contract is going to be a large contract for multiple years, whether it's 2, 3, 4, whatever. Those two things can't be compared. And if the age thing don't make a difference in that. You got a guy that's going to come in and play 25%, as you stated, and another guy that's going to be your main guy. I think they can try and play it, but as Gary said yesterday, where the hell is he? Where is he shown to be dropping off?
Right.
You know?
And think about it this way, too. They had Wagner last year. He obviously played for DQ in Seattle. They had Ertz last year. He and Kingsbury are super tight from their time together in Arizona.
Uh-huh.
You add Von Miller now. Well, Adam Peters was in Denver as a scout when they drafted him. And Peters worked his way up there as Von Miller. I mean, Peters has a couple Super Bowl rings, and they're from his time with the Patriots and the Broncos. Like, Peters knows this dude. Peters went and got Debo this offseason. That's another dude he scouted coming out of college, and he knows as a human. I don't think this is accidental. If I had to guess, AP probably texted Vaughn back in March and was like, hey, you let me know when the time's right. Let's talk.
Yeah, we might come get you, dog.
I think for the Edge angst crowd, and we're going to let Jeff talk here in a minute. We're going to actually open these phone lines up. 800-636-1067. 800-636-1067. How do you feel about Von Miller? Do you feel a lot better where this football team is now?